Hancock County Democrats held a meeting tonight as the party's convention draws closer. The public meeting also welcomed Imke Schessler, vice chair of the Maine Democratic Party. Schessler and Marcia Myers, chair of the Hancock County Democratic Committee, walked attendees through what to expect in the convention process, how delegates are chosen, and answered questions about where the Senate race stands right now. They said for people new to politics, the process can feel unfamiliar and at times even confusing. So the goal tonight was to break it all down and make sure voters know what's ahead. Schessler made it clear that she believes it's important that the voters are in the driver's seat when it comes to nominating the right candidate.
We're really leaving this up to the voters. And the voters in this process are going to be the delegates who are elected this weekend. They're going to have a chance to make their case through their written blurbs that they've put out as their delegate candidacy comes forward. And we're going to have to trust them. They're community members, right? So when you are thinking about who lives in your area and what their values are, and as they approach this process, you say, I'm going to trust this process, right? Just as I would trust everybody else. We saw massive turnout, right? We saw massive turnout this last election, and we're trying to harness that energy.
As Schessler mentioned, the delegates are chosen this weekend, and the convention will be held the following Saturday, July 25th.